Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, Talk Stream Live, Radio X across Europe, and our broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers. If you'd like to see what we've been up to, what we're doing, and what we intend on doing, all you have to do is go to our website, xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And you can send me an email right here to studio@xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Yolanda Tucker, and we're going to be talking about the stress of holidays and the empowerment and self-confidence that you can exude into yourself with the help of Yolanda. Now, as you know, X-Zone Nation, the holiday season is upon us. You know, tomorrow is Thanksgiving in the United States, and we're just, a month away from Christmas. And while you might not think it's possible, our lives are about to become even more hectic and stressful. I feel it each and every day the closer we get to Christmas. Now, while we all look forward to the holiday season, a lot of us dread the rush, whether it's traveling, getting last-minute gifts, hosting parties, or just the constant running from one activity to the next. Our need to squeeze everything in over the winter break often leads us to forgetting to take time to enjoy the little moments with our families. It definitely causes us to become more overwhelmed, thus stressing us further, which in turn makes us feel guilty if we try to take time for ourselves. The key to an enjoyable and successful Christmas season will be finding a nice balance between self and the holiday season. Our guest this hour is Master of Motivation, Yolanda M. Tucker, and she uses her experience to elaborate on the subject of maintaining a proper life balance during the holiday season. Joining me now is Yolanda Tucker. And Yolanda, welcome to the X-Zone.
Hi, Mitch. Thanks for having me.
First of all, my name is Rob, not Mitch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I get that sometimes.
Sorry, Rob.
It's all right, dear. Tell me, how did you become an empowerment and self-confidence expert?
Well, after years of not believing in myself and going around feeling sorry for myself and held down, and I happened to come across a book by Yolanda M called In the Meantime, and I read that book. I think I was about 21 or 22 years old, Rob, and it changed my life. And after I got myself on the right track and, and was just enjoying and loving life,
Yeah.
I wanted to share that.
And how long have you been doing this? How long have you been helping people to empower themselves and gain self-confidence?
Over 25 years, since I
Wow.
was in high school, actually.
And why do you think there are some people who actually need help from a person like yourself, an empowerment and self-confidence expert, and then there are those people who have self-confidence from day one?
Well, I think that you're right. People have self-confidence from day one, but then there comes a time things happen in life and sometimes we lose that self-confidence. And then there are other people who just, they don't have self-confidence at all. And so they need someone, to kind of inspire them. And I need someone to inspire me. So I'm always looking for inspirational and motivational things myself. So it's not, just only out. I definitely take it in.
When did the lack of self-confidence actually show its ugly head in society?
Well, Rob, it's been going on for years. It seems like lately it's just getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
But especially for women, we have had issues as far, I was born in 75. So as far back as I can remember as a little girl,
Yeah.
You could only be a certain size. If you open up a magazine, you only saw women that were size 1, 2, 3, very small women. I'm not a large woman, but when they finally said average size woman is 16, that most women were like, phew, so TV, advertisement,
Mm-hmm.
the radio, things like that, they all affect our lives and the way that we see society as a whole.
All right, Yolanda, please stand by. You and I have to take our first commercial break. Thank you so much for joining us. And to you and your family, Yolanda, tomorrow is your Thanksgiving. I wish you a very happy and fun-filled, stress-free Thanksgiving. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Yolanda Tucker's our guest, and her website is yolandamtucker.com. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
Gibbs A. Williams, Ph.D., is a practicing psychoanalyst, supervisor, researcher, and author in New York City. Much of his life has been dedicated to understanding nature and the uses of meaningful coincidences or synchronicities. His radical and original non-Jungian, non-mystical, non-magical theory of synchronicities illuminates much of the fog surrounding this challenging and perplexing topic. His ideas and manners are fresh, presented in a style that is both entertaining and highly informative. He is also an expert on crisis intervention specially focused on violence reduction for the police and citizens, mastering anxiety, frustration, and stress without the use of medication, and effectively preventing and treating heroin addiction. Dr. Williams can be contacted at his email address at gwwilliamsny11@aol.com or visit his website at www.drgibbswilliams.com.
This is Johanna Carroll, host of Dialogue with Divinity on the X-Zone Broadcast Network. While walking along Kaanapali Beach in Maui this past year, I kept discovering all these shells and coral in the shape of hearts. My dialogue with Divinity was very simple. Do you want me to do a retreat to heal people's hearts in Maui next year? And of course, the answer was yes. As a master spiritual teacher, I am offering you a neat retreat called Rise, May 8th through the 12th, 2017, and the chance of a lifetime to rest at a 5-star resort for 5 days and experience a spiritual renewal of your heart and soul. Kaanapali is one of the top 5 beaches in the world. This stunning resort has undergone a $40 million renovation. I walked the entire property, checked out the room choices on your behalf, and I must say it is stunning. Our conference room faces the ocean with sliding glass doors. Maui is known as Mother Maui because it is a soft, gentle, healing energy. In the embrace of Mother Maui, you will feel yourself rising from the limitations of an ordinary life to an extraordinary journey of peace, bliss, and harmony. A greater sense of clarity. Our Rise retreat ignites renewal in the sacred elements of air, water, earth, fire, and wind. There's plenty of free time to enjoy all that Maui has to offer. A small deposit is required now to reserve your space, as this retreat, it will sell out. For more details, please go to johannacarroll.com and register today. Aloha, and I'll see you in mystical Maui.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell. My guest this hour is Yolanda M. Tucker. Her website is www.yolandamtucker.com. And before we went to the break, Yolanda, we were talking about, self-confidence, and you were saying that the majority, let me see if I can just say this right, that the majority, based on your experience over the last 25 years, of people who need to have their self-confidence empowered are women.
Yes.
And that is because of the stress that society puts on them due to their looks, their makeup, their size. And how do how do we compensate for this?
Well, that's just one of the reasons, but we compensate. I compensate by identifying with women that are in the media or in the public eye that look like me. They're not smaller or larger, but they look like me, and I can relate to them. So that's one way we compensate. Another way we compensate is that we read empowering books and information, as well as, talk to someone like me, a life coach or a speaker, going out into the community and helping other people. Those are all good ways to inspire yourself or to, lift your spirits or keep you motivated, whatever it may be.
But what is it in a person's physiology or psychology that they are not able to cope with the day-to-day social pressures and the social stresses, that they find themselves requiring a third party in order to rebuild their self-esteem? What has happened within their psyche?
Well, for me, it's childhood trauma. I don't know for someone else, but, there are so many different reasons that we as people experience these psychological and physiological changes and, thoughts and feelings.
Okay, so somebody comes to you with a problem. How do you diagnose how or which course of self-empowerment that you would use on this person if you're unable to gauge what the cause was?
Well, the first thing you have to do is listen. Like, I'm not a therapist, so, I don't give people, strategies. Well, I give them life strategies, but not psychological or physiological strategies in order to change their lives. For me, I listen. I try to empower people by telling them some of my story, to help them understand that it's rough out here, and you're not the only one. Like I say, myself, I go out and look for other people, that will inspire me. So, and that's what I try to give them. I am a woman of God. I believe in God. So I'm always going to tell you to trust and put your faith in God.
But what happens if a person isn't of the same religious orientation that you are, and they don't believe in God?
Well, again, I'm going to relate to them person to person. So I would still pray for them, but, I understand that, and I would respect that. And I would, just talk to them and give them the sage advice that hopefully, over the years I've gained through experience and, listening to others giving me advice as well.
Would you say that the defeat of Hillary Clinton as the first female president of the United States was a blow to the self-esteem and to the self-confidence of women?
I would say prior to me seeing the results, I would have answered that question, yes, Rob. But after seeing that 45% of American women voted for Donald Trump, I'm astonished.
Why?
I'm heartbroken.
Why?
Because I don't understand how a woman of all people could vote for a man that has no respect for women, that literally, as we speak, had a 13-year-old alleging that he had sexually assaulted her.
Well, that's an allegation that has never been proven.
I said alleged.
Right.
So again, but the whole point is that someone would say that. There has definitely been one lawsuit that he settled, a sexual assault lawsuit down in Miami that was settled years ago.
Right.
So it's heartbreaking to me that women could turn a blind eye to that.
Well, isn't it, I think that when it came to turning a blind eye to allegations or actually acknowledging a criminal as the president of the United States, I think that the voters in the United States have certainly, made their choice very loud and very clear.
Well, I disagree, Rob, and I disagree because the popular vote went to Hillary Clinton.
But that's not what wins the election. It's the electoral that wins the election.
The electoral vote, I understand that. But like I say, I disagree with what you said, that the people got what they wanted. The people did not get what they wanted because the popular vote was for Hillary Clinton.
Well, what you should say there is that those who voted for Hillary Clinton did not get what they wanted. The fact of the matter is that Donald J. Trump is the president-elect, and in January he will be the president of the United States. So how is this going to affect those who were looking at Hillary Clinton as being the great female hope?
Who labeled Hillary Clinton the great female hope?
I just did.
Well, I don't know that I agree with you on that. I don't think that was not my opinion of Hillary Clinton.
Well, okay. So how are you going to deal with people who come to you as a self-empowerment and someone who can help them lift their self-esteem, who put all their hard work, all their social networking and everything into trying to get Hillary Clinton into power? The pollsters are saying Hillary's going to win. The news media that is so slanted, it's sickening. I don't even want to get into that. was saying that Hillary was going to win. You had President Obama and his wife, Joe Biden, and Chelsea, who were going out and giving the support to Hillary Clinton. And then bang, Election day, there was a stunning defeat, a stunning upset. I'm sure that this is going to affect those people who had put so much trust and hard work into the Secretary of State. And, how do you try and help them? How do you help them? What do you say that can heal their wounds?
Well, the first thing I would say is it's life. Mm-hmm. Defeat is a part of life.
Would you say that
it's not a comfortable part of?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Defeat. I've always looked at defeat as a challenge to success.
And it certainly is, but once again, it's a part of life. You get knocked down. When you get knocked down, it's not how long you stay down; it's that you get back up.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get back up and you fight. And you fight for what you believe in. So because Hillary Clinton did not win the presidency, that doesn't change our focus and where we want to go and the things that we want to accomplish as Americans. It shouldn't.
Okay, I agree. So why did we see people who were, the suffering from what, I don't know who coined this phrase, but, post-Trump syndrome, PTS, post-Trump syndrome?
I have no idea because, again, I'm not a psychologist, so I can't answer that question. I have no idea why people went out. I can tell you I did not go out and protest and walk or do any of that stuff. If I will say this, that's their constitutional right.
Sure. So why would a person come to a coach like yourself for help instead of going to a psychologist?
Well,
what's the difference here?
The difference is I am that person that I can't prescribe you drugs. So you come to me because you have a connection. There's a trust there. You see me speak or you read a book and that's why you come to me. We have some type of connection. I've built a trust with you from my speaking engagements or from something that you've read that I've written.
So basically,
that's why most people come to me.
So basically, you've sold yourself to someone. And I don't mean that in a negative way. What you've done is you're a salesperson because when you do your speeches, when you do your books, you're selling yourself. You're promoting yourself as an expert in the field. Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. So yes, I've sold myself to people. But for me, I try to sell myself as honestly as I possibly can, with no fluff and no bluffers.
So listen, we're coming into the Christmas season. How do we, how do we make more time for ourselves over the Christmas holiday season without feeling guilty about it?
Well, the first thing I'd say is stop feeling guilty about it. Like tonight, I have, a house full of people that are going to be here tomorrow. So I have a full dinner that I am cooking. So actually, when you said no cell phone, I'm like, oh my goodness, it stopped me from my process, but it's fine. You roll with the punches. One, like I did, you roll with the punches. Two, a cocktail never hurts. Three, you do something that you would want to do, like for instance, I was watching a movie and cleaning greens.
Okay.
So greens is not something that I particularly care to do. I'd rather buy them in a bag, but everywhere that I went, they had too many stems. It didn't satisfy what I wanted. So I'm having to actually cut my own greens tonight. And to do that and to have some time for myself and to enjoy, I'm watching a movie while I do that. That's not something that I get a chance to do because I'm always on the move. I'm always busy. I'm always on the go.
Right.
And I want to watch movies, but I just don't get a chance to. So over the holiday season, that's something that you should do. Spoil yourself. Take a bath. I love to take baths, but I don't get to sit down in a tub, with bubble bath and lavender and all of that good stuff as often as I'd like. So that's one of the things. I'm off for 4 days. That's one of the things. Well, I'm off for 2 days, actually. That's one of the things that I'm going to do. Over the weekend, I'm going to take a bath.
So as a personal coach, you cannot prescribe drugs, but you can tell people to drink booze, right?
I did not tell people to drink booze. I said a cocktail.
Well,
It doesn't hurt.
Well, what's a cocktail? Unless we're talking about non-alcoholic cocktails here.
Well, that a cocktail. I did not say it had to be an alcoholic cocktail. You can get a non-alcoholic cocktail if that's what you choose.
Yeah, but I can go to McDonald's and get a large pop. That would give me the same effect as a non-alcoholic.
No. You're supposed to treat yourself. So you can go and get maybe a latte or something that you wouldn't usually have. It's supposed to be a treat, not something that you go by and get every day.
Silly me. I thought that, all right, well, we're just going to skip that. Listen, you and I have got to take a commercial break. We'll be back on the other side. During this time, maybe you can go and do some greens or whatever. Get yourself a non-alcoholic cocktail. God, I wish I was closer to home. I'd go get myself a alcoholic cocktail, but I'll have to wait till I get home later on tomorrow morning. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My guest this hour is Yolanda M. Tucker, and her website, X-Zone Nation, is www.yolandamtucker.com. To all our American listeners, wherever you are in this great big world of ours, from my family to yours, my wife Laura, our 6 children, our 9 grandchildren, to each and every one of you, a very happy Thanksgiving. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program, dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we'll weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic right here on the Mutual Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Exonation, Master of Motivation, Yolanda M. Tucker is our guest this hour. www.yolandamtucker.com is her website. And let me see, as we're talking about the holiday season, we have, you've got Thanksgiving tomorrow. Friday is Black Friday. People will be going all over Hell's Green Acres trying to get a deal. And then you've got Christmas. And Exo Nation, did you realize that no matter what the different media try and tell you, that Black Friday is not the number one sales source during a year? That is a lie. That is false. I know the media doesn't lie. Well, unless you're listening to CNN and MSNBC and some of the other weirdo stations that are out there today. It's actually the Saturday before Christmas. That, in effect, is the number one shopping day of the year. Of course, people leave it to the last minute. They cause themselves stress, and then they call up Yolanda, and Yolanda helps them take care of their stress. But I found a very easy way, Yolanda, of not going through the stress of buying Christmas gifts at the last moment.
And how is that?
I start buying Christmas gifts in July.
That's a great strategy.
Oh yeah, and whether our, and today it's our kids and our grandkids, they would rather get a gift card or a prepaid debit card than a gift, because they are able to buy themselves something that they really want instead of those ugly pair of slippers that grandma gets them, or, Aunt Liza's knitting of a sweater that is 14 sizes too large. But if somebody doesn't have the foresight to prevent themselves from getting stressed out, and they do get stressed over the holidays, we talked a little bit about, number one, take time for yourself. Number two, give yourself a treat. For example, you were talking about taking a nice bubble bath with lavender and so on. What else can people do to prevent the stress?
Well, like you said, Rob, you can definitely start shopping early.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have Amazon, where you can, get on the computer, and Black Friday, or you may not be able to do it the Saturday before Christmas. So if you wait that late,
right?
Let's talk about that in a second. But if you Black Friday, if you want to get online and shop, you can do that and get some of the same deals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a way to take away from stress. If you wait until the last minute to go that Saturday before the Christmas, and I used to work in retail and worked in a mall for years, and I have seen people. It is barbaric.
Yeah.
And you definitely, want to be as calm as possible, breathe a lot, and be patient. You have to be patient. There's so many people, and, everybody there is trying to help you, but they also want to get home to their families as well. So it could be a very frantic day. So the calmer you are, the better.
And of course, you can always tell the sales staff who have got coffee with Bailey's Irish cream in them, because they're the happiest ones there. They'll just put a smile on their face and take all the abuse from a customer, and they just go back and sip the coffee, and they're having a grand old time. I guess that's their kind of way of taking a cocktail. Yeah, exactly.
It solves a lot of stuff.
Sure. Do you think that in today's society that we have surpassed the real reason for Christmas and Thanksgiving and the other holidays that we celebrate, that this commercialism of these holidays is actually an added stress to us. And because of guilt feelings, we refuse to say, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yes, I certainly do. I have had no issue. And matter of fact, this year I told everybody it's time for me to do something for me.
Yeah.
And I want to take a class in 2017. And so I am not buying Christmas gifts this year. And I told them if they wanted to, do something for me, they could give me a cash donation towards my class.
Sure.
So you have to sometimes. And now let me say this: I only have one child, and he is an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not penalizing a small child or anything like that. So don't send me any emails, people.
Oh, no. You see what you just did there, my dear? You had the opportunity of getting people to send you emails, and that would have given you the opportunity of sending them your flyer.
Oh, Rob, you're absolutely right. My apologies, people. Send the emails. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking.
Oh, my heavens. You see, my wife and I guess it was about 12, 14 years ago, we decided to do what you suggested. Make Christmas ours. Treat us. And we went on a cruise at Christmas time. Well, when we got back from the cruise, there was nearly a mutiny within the family. I think they were going to have us walk the plank because, how dare you leave us at Christmas? Well, why not? You're all grown up. We don't, this thing at Christmas time, as far as I'm concerned, is a cash cow for you guys. You don't live at home. You're not little kids anymore. We take care of the grandchildren. So, what is it?
Did you and your wife feel guilty?
Hell no.
Okay, great.
Hell no.
Great. Mission accomplished.
Exactly. But, the audacity of people to try and make you feel guilty because you're doing what they would love to do, but they just won't do it for one reason or another. And,
people are jealous, and they do have a lot of what I call the mitigated gall to be upset with you. They do.
Sure.
They will have the mitigated gall to be upset with you when you're doing something to make you happy.
Geez, imagine that, eh? Making yourself happy.
But if you don't, who will?
Exactly. And the biggest example of this is that you're well aware of this as a parent, that 9 times out of 10, the only time you'll hear from a grown-up child who has left the home is when they need something.
Right.
And this guilt trip doesn't work on me. It's never worked on me. Like my mother used to say, you're heartless. No, I'm smart. I'm not heartless.
I feel the same way. And people tell me that too. You're heartless. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not. I love people. I give them the shirt off my back, but I have standards and morals and values and integrity and rules and,
because there are 2 sayings that come to mind. One from William Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. And the second one is, if you cannot love yourself, no one else will love you.
Well, right.
So.
And how can you say you love someone else if you don't love your own self?
Exactly.
I ask women that all the time. That's one of the questions that I ask them.
What can society do in order to help alleviate women from feeling the way they do? Like, I agree with you that advertisers and the media go way overboard. Just show people as they really are. To me, when an advertiser uses airbrushing to help create this aura that this person is so beautiful because of their product, that's fraud. That person should not be allowed to advertise this, because you are so right, Yolanda, that people get hurt. It affects the confidence. Look what happens. What about bullying? My goodness, with electronic bullying, how many young girls are targeted by other girls in the now? This is so wrong.
It's awful, Rob. It is absolutely awful. And, I do a program called Love Me at the local high schools here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
And one of the things that I tell the young ladies, we talk about beauty, we talk about, what beauty looks like, and we put together vision boards and that type stuff. But what can society do? Well, we're doing some of it, with the different social media outlets that we have.
Right.
We are taking advertising and products and our lives kind of into our own hands, and we are presenting ourselves for who we are. If we have natural hair, there's natural hair shows now and blogs and, all kind of stuff that there wasn't when I've had natural hair now 15 years. So that kind of stuff wasn't there. So we are, as a society, are starting to embrace ourselves. And I see the growth, which is awesome. But we have so much more to do, and such a long way to go.
When I was a kid going to school, they used to have a school uniform rule. It made each and every student the same, no matter if you were rich, no matter if you were middle class, or no matter if your mom and dad were having hard times to make ends meet. You were all the same. Girls wore a white blouse with a blue tunic. Young men wore a white shirt with a tie, gray flannel pants, and black shoes. Everyone was on the same level. And I think, and this is just me, I think that if we started instituting that again within our school system, that we'd find that the sociological issues would not be as prevalent as they are today. And as an expert, what is your opinion on that?
Rob, I wholeheartedly agree. I remember when my son was in elementary school and they instituted uniforms. I was so excited.
Yeah.
For those reasons that you stated, and there were a couple of other selfish reasons as well. One, I could launder them pretty easily. They were easily ironed. And he knew exactly what he was going to wear every day. So there wasn't a fuss or an argument. So as a mother, that helped as well. But here's what I didn't like. They did not make them wear a standard shoe. So, yeah, they didn't pick on each other because of the clothes, because like you said, everybody looked alike, but you could still tell a social status by a child's shoe. And so it didn't resolve the problem. So I feel like, as an expert, if we're going to do that, let's go all the way, like you said, black shoes, gray slacks, a shirt. The one thing that I did like, the school had two colors, and so they could interchange. They could wear a red shirt one day and a blue shirt, or a black shirt or whatever it was the next day. Or, however they wanted to. So they did have a little bit of variety.
Sure.
Most people cry that if we make the children wear uniforms, we take their creativity away. And I disagree with that. I think we take their creativity away when we take away programs like band and chorus and PE and things like that.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%, sweetie. The shoe status when we were kids, gosh, it was so many years ago. There was one store that we would all go to that was recommended by the school, and that is where you had to go to buy the school uniforms, and the shoes were the same. The running shoes were the same. They were the old black and white boot ones. Remember those? That's what everybody wore in physical education. Everyone wore the same type of loafers because they were all bought at the same store. And, I believe that it worked to the advantage of the student as well as the school and, of course, the family. You and I have to take our final break, Yolanda. Please stand by. Great talking to you. X-Zone Nation, Yolanda M. Tucker is our special guest, and her website is www.yolandamtucker.com. And this is the X-Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard, Monday through Friday from 11 p.m. Eastern until 4 a.m. Eastern. And then we also have our refeeds until 6 a.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
As host of Dialogue with Divinity, I am thrilled to join the X-Zone Broadcast Network and their growing number of affiliates. My quest for a connection to the divine ignited my successful career path as an international spiritual counselor for over 40 years, an author of 4 books, and well-known metaphysical educator. My clients call me their spiritual mama. So my job is to offer you a radio show to help you grow spiritually with wisdom and get specific tools from guests who are experts in their field. Tune in to Dialogue with Divinity and be part of the conversation with Spirit. My goal, your happy soul. For more information, please visit my website at johannacarroll.com.
Coming soon to the X-Zone Broadcast Network is A Different Perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who would like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net. This is Kevin Randall. For nearly 30 years, I have been investigating the case of the Roswell UFO. I have interviewed hundreds of people and stood on the crash site. Now in Roswell in the 21st century, I have reviewed dozens of hours of audio and videotaped interviews, examined hundreds of files that relate to the crash, and have returned to Roswell in an attempt to put all that information into the proper perspective. For the first time in Roswell in the 21st century, I have made a dispassionate reevaluation of all that material and provide a new look at what happened. This is a book that clears away all the clutter that has hidden the truth for so long, strips away the various lies that surround the case, exposes the Air Force attempts at cover-up, and found a core of solid information that tells us all where the case stands today. Roswell in the 21st century will be available in just a few weeks. For more information, please visit my website at www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com.
Afterlife expert Roberta Grimes was the first one to say that dying can be fun. Now her best-selling book, The Fun of Dying, is available in stores worldwide. So if you wonder whether death ends life, how it feels to die, or what heaven might be like, The Fun of Dying was written for you. And if you have always been afraid of death, or if you worry that your life has no meaning, let The Fun of Dying ease your fears and bring new meaning to your life. Nothing said in The Fun of Dying is based on the teachings of any religion. Instead, Roberta draws on evidence to explain how death happens, how it feels, and what comes next. A lot of the best death-related evidence was produced in the first half of the 20th century. When it is put together with recent discoveries, it tells a consistent and amazing story. Roberta Grimes blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Her wonderful book, The Fun of Dying, is available on Amazon and at stores worldwide wherever books are sold.
All right, pull your car over to the side of the road. That's it. Get out and do the boogie around the car. Watch out, don't get hit by a truck or anything, right? I don't want to have that on my conscience. Okay, now get back in your car. You got the circulation going. Exonation Yolanda M. Tucker is our special guest this hour, and she's known as Master of Motivation. Her website is www.yolandamtucker.com. She is also the award-winning author of Blessed Beyond Belief, Lessons Learned, My Reflection, All I Ever Wanted to Do Is Love You. And she is the recipient of the following awards: Florida's Writer Association Royal Palm Literary Award and the Powerful Words of Wisdom Award. Wow, you're one busy lady.
I try to be.
Yeah, no wonder. Yeah. When you go out and you do your presentations and you're talking to people, What are some of the most common questions that you get asked?
I oftentimes tell, I usually talk to women and younger ladies, and I talk about being a teen parent. So one of the questions that I'm commonly asked is about my son's father. Do we have a relationship? Do we get along? And the answer is no and no. It's better now. So, and they ask me a lot about my birth mother, if
Right.
she and I have a relationship. So those are the type questions that a lot of people that, pique their interest with my story.
If there is someone in our audience tonight who has real low self-esteem, low confidence, what are some of the words of wisdom that you can share with them so that they will have the ability to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I am a nice person. You know what? I am beautiful. You know what? I have a heart and my heart is good. How else can we help them?
I would tell them to do exactly what you said. That's the first thing I had to do, Rob, was get in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I had to look at the person, because you have to love that person that's looking back at you. And that's a lot easier said than done. And this, I know, I didn't read this in a book. I lived this. I would tell them to spend time with themselves, because we, as especially as Americans, we are so busy, and we are, always around people, always doing stuff. It's always something. And we don't take the time to listen to our own hearts and get in our quiet space. Sometimes some of the problems that we have can be solved if we just take a few moments and sit and just listen to our inner selves. And I would definitely tell that person to dream. I have some family members, and they're female, and I'm like, I want you to dream. Find your passion. What do you love to do that really and truly, if nobody paid you, you would still do it? And now figure out, once you find that, figure out how to make money out of it. Imagine, people don't imagine anymore. They don't have hope.
Well, I don't think that people imagine anymore, because we live in a force-fed society where we're getting all the information and all the news and media and social media fed to us 7/24, 365. And I know so many people, Yolanda, who haven't the ability to shut their smartphone off. It's contagious.
And it is very difficult.
Yeah.
It's addictive. It is addictive. I saw a video on Facebook the other day, and it's of a cartoon, and people are just on the phone. They're not paying attention to anything that's going on around them.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. That's the state of the world today. Yeah. But we have to make time. We have to figure out, and it's hard. I know, I am living witness. It is very, very difficult to do it. I'm addicted to my smartphone, and I just ordered a new phone today. So I need a new phone, but I am addicted to that phone. And the good thing is now it will die itself. And when it happens, I have to put it on the charger. And then I can't do anything.
Right.
But there are times, that will happen, and I'll grab the laptop or the tablet, and I have to remind myself, no more. First of all, it's already 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Put it down and have some quiet time. Maybe just turn on some music.
That's what my wife does. She is a nurse, and when she comes home from doing the 3 to 11 shift, she will just make herself a cup of tea, and she will sit in our living room with our 3 little dogs, turn music on, and she'll just sit there and veg.
Yes.
When I get home and I want to relax, I will take my tablet and I will put on a movie. Instead of putting on the big 52 or 54, whatever size screen we have in the living room, I just put my little laptop on, my little iPad or tablet, and watch a movie. It relaxes me. Like last night I watched, It's a Good Life with Jimmy Stewart. I watch positive movies because somebody said to me once, if I was only rich, if I was a celebrity, if I was famous, I would not need to have, the ability of not having self-confidence. I would have everything I needed. And then I related to him a little story that Michael Jackson had everything. He had fame. He had money. He was one hell of a musician.
Yes.
But the secret came out about his inner feeling when he wrote Man in the Mirror.
Yes.
Yes,
that Michael Jackson is my favorite of all time, and that is my favorite all-time Michael Jackson song.
Mine too, because what it does is it shows the reflection that no matter how famous you are, or if you have everything, anything that money could buy, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy.
Right. Fame and fortune does not buy happiness. Happiness is something that you find, and it's something that you don't lose when you have nothing.
You've got 3 books: Blessed Beyond Belief, Lesson Learned, My Reflection, and All I Ever Wanted to Do Is Love You. When's your next book coming out?
Actually, Rob, I have 4 books. The newest book came out last year. Matter of fact, next month will be a year. But it is an adult title. It's a provocative book, and so I won't say the title.
Oh.
Say again?
Why?
Well, we're on radio. I'm not sure if you're FCC regulated or not.
Yes, I'm FCC regulated and I'm CRTC regulated. So thank you very much for watching out for my butt. Now, where can people find a copy of your 4th book?
It's on Amazon, Amazon.com.
And all they have to do is go into the search engine and type in Yolanda M. Tucker.
Yes.
Excellent. What do when is your busiest season, or are you busy all year long?
Well, because I do a multitude of things, I am busy all year long. But my busiest season is usually with the motivational speaking is usually at the beginning of the year. Most people they want a change. They want to do something different.
Yep.
And so I get a chance to go out and hopefully inspire them. That's my dream, my passion is to inspire them.
My hat is off to you for doing everything you do, because I've had the opportunity of speaking to you now for nearly an hour, and I can hear the love and compassion in you. And anyone who is fortunate enough to have you be their mentor or their life coach are very lucky.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Rob.
So what are your final thoughts for the X-Zone Nation tonight, Yolanda?
Well, let's see. My final thoughts would be, if you can dream it, you can do it. Don't let anybody stop you from achieving your dreams. And happiness, the only person that can make you happy is you. So do it.
A little saying that I've always had ever since I was a kid. The only difference between a dream and reality is doing it. A dream is a plan. Following through on your plan will bring it to succession, which is reality. And I've always looked at life that if I have had a failure, I look at it as a lesson to success. Like you were saying earlier, you fall off the horse, you get back on, and away you go.
Absolutely. Failure is not an option.
I would imagine that you're also very busy around Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day for the single must be very, very depressing and kind of poke at the old lack of self-esteem.
I'm going to tell you the truth, Rob. I'm usually not, but that's because I'm being selfish, and sometimes you have to be selfish. My birthday is the day before Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So I usually try to do something for myself.
So what is one of the most pleasurable things that you do for yourself? Is it having that bubble bath, or how do you enjoy something for yourself? What do you do?
That's one of the ways. I like to travel, so kind of taking a weekend trip. That's always good. I love water, so going to a beach or somewhere near water, it's always relaxing for me. And then sometimes it's just hanging around the house, laying on the sofa, watching movies.
I hear you. Yolanda, I want to thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. It's been a great pleasure. Tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you, how they can find out more about you, and where they can buy your books.
Rob, they can follow me on Twitter at MSYM Tucker. I am on Amazon.com, Yolanda M. Tucker. and they could go to my website, yolandamtucker.com.
Yolanda M. Tucker, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. Continued success. And from our home to yours, a very happy Thanksgiving and a very Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Rob. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My great pleasure. Exonation, if you'd like to find out more about Yolanda M. Tucker, visit her website at www.yolandamtucker.com, and her books are available on Amazon.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. To all our listeners around the world who are from the great United States of America, happy Thanksgiving.